So like we've talked about business degrees. People say, "Oh, I have a business degree," but I'm really unsure. I don't have a business degree. I have a programming degree, so I don't know what a business degree really means.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us what that means? What is a business degree? Welcome to the Small Towns Big People podcast. My name is Joe, and I'm here with Kyle in this sweet ride limo, ready to talk business, life, and anything else that comes up.
We're going around the Midwest looking for small town people who are doing great things. We hope listening to these guests will encourage, inspire, and motivate you to do something great within your town.
Hope you enjoy our next guest.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Small Towns Big People. Today we're here with Adam. Adam owns and runs Little River Country Club over here in Marinette. He's does some great things with youth golf, banquets, supports the community throughout, holds a bunch of fundraisers, and helps out in a lot of different ways throughout this whole Marinette-O'Connell area. So thanks for being on, first of all, Adam.
Of course, thanks for
really
asking.
appreciate that. And if you could tell us just a little bit about, like, maybe even how you got into the country club or golf course business, or where you were before that, or what was your journey?
So I went to University of Oshkosh, went for business, and prior to me starting college, my sister and brother-in-law owned Little River Country Club, so I'd always helped them out, worked here until I went to college, and basically, if it ever came up for sale, of course I wanted to keep it in the family and stuff. And when they did decide to sell it, I went to the bank to see if is this even possible and stuff, and then worked with Stevenson National Bank, which is a great lender in this area, and they actually voted on it unanimously, saying, "Hey, good to go, approved for the loan." And then COVID happened, so prior to that, I worked for Coca-Cola for 15 years right out of college. So I had a really good job. So at that time it was didn't really feel the need to transition, but if this opportunity was going to happen, I wanted to jump on that. And after I got approved, I left Coca-Cola, and then, like I said, we were on hold for a year and a half. So then I was like, oh boy, what did I just do? Because everything was in limbo, and everything worked out though. All of a sudden I got the phone call saying, hey, SBA, they approved it, good to go, come to the bank within 30-45 minutes, and sign the paperwork. And at that time it was different strategies to make that business work during COVID. So I was basically running it for them because they were still in Florida and stuff, and obviously they're the sale was almost finalized, but just waiting for all the paperwork and everything to do. So but yeah, so it was good to keep it in the family. And I already had sort of the experience with it, being here for 20 years, and then sort of knew the ins and outs, what to expect and what not to expect, and then what improvements I wanted to do to it, sort of bring it up the next level. So because if you're not expanding or growing, somebody else will be doing that for you. So
Yeah.
Okay, before we get too far into it, there's two things that I want to touch on, and I don't want to forget them. The COVID thing, I want to talk about that real quick, but I also wanted to talk about a business degree. So like we've talked about business degrees. People say, "Oh, I have a business degree," but I'm really unsure. I don't have a business degree. I have a programming degree, so I don't know what a business degree really means.
yeah.
So can you just tell us what that means? What is a business degree?
It sort of prepares you for the business, but I'll be honest with you, you can throw that right out the table. The real life experience is what really prepares you for a business. From an accounting perspective and that aspect, it's really good. But from a problem solving perspective, real life instances and on the go, and how you can fix that, or turn that opportunity into a success. Because sometimes when you have that going against the grain, or things happen for a reason. That's why I'm a firm believer. So if something broke on me, maybe I went to this outlet to look for something else. Like prime examples, golf simulators. You want to break after the busy golf season and stuff, but also you wanted to have some revenue coming in for the winter season, and so you're always looking for different ways and different avenues. So whatever curveballs they throw at you, you're trying to expand on that and to increase revenue. So, but from a business standpoint, from a 4-year degree, It does get you ready, but real life experiences is, I think,
Mm-hmm.
more important than a piece of paper.
So in a business degree, do you do anything with a business, or you do accounting, you do economics,
Marketing.
Yeah.
you do
everything you touch
marketing?
on,
A
all
lot of
it.
market, yeah, because I actually have a major in marketing and stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, but I mean that's all changed since I've been out of college. I
Yeah.
mean, now with social media, the newspaper around here, it's 3 days a week. I mean,
Yeah, and they're
now-
all online.
Yeah, it
anyways.
is. So it is. It's a change in environment, which I think is good. But I mean, I'm learning every day. My nephews. I mean, they're all on that. TikTok and Instagram and X now and Facebook. They call me old because I do a lot of advertising on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, you got," so I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
but,
that is funny.
But it is. I learn something new every day, and the challenges, I really do think they bring opportunities. So,
Well, I
Okay.
think if you start doing TikTok dances,
I want to drive business,
I know.
not take it away.
I know. I keep trying to get the girls to do that,
Yeah.
and they've done a few, but not a lot.
Yeah, I do TikToks with my dog, and that's about it.
So, you talked about COVID. So I was confused on the timeline there. You quit your job at Pepsi, and then for a year and a half, you couldn't. You.
Yeah, so at Coke, so I was there for 15 years. I was a district sales manager, and then right during that 2020, 2021 timeline.
So before you bought this, you were like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, COVID
Then
hasn't
you,
hit yet.
Then you quit your job, and you're waiting for the loan to go through, and then COVID hit, and then the bank's like, no, not for a while.
Yeah, so
And then you waited a year and a half. So what'd you do in that year and a half?
I ran this place. So
Okay.
my sister and brother-in-law, they were in Florida at the time and
Got
stuff, and so they're like, we don't plan to come back till May or whatever. And
Yeah.
then, next thing you know, March came, and it was a very early open. So we got that up and running. And then when they came back, because they were sort of like, okay, deal's sort of finalized. We're just waiting on the bank.
just waiting on the timing.
Yeah, and before I purchased, I mean, COVID didn't happen yet.
Yeah.
But then all those SBA loans, they backlogged everything, and then those PPP loans and stuff. So SBA was backlogged. So I mean, they didn't have a timeline. They couldn't even tell you. So, but like I said, the bank was really good with transparency and saying, hey, we'll let you know as soon as possible. Had to keep filling out paperwork because after a year goes by, you have to redo it again. So, but it all worked out pretty good. So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I know with taking it over from family and helping in that dynamic, how did you manage that? Because that can be a challenge in and of itself. Because I know your brother-in-law's still here.
Yep. He's a PGA professional here, so he does lessons and helps me out too. I mean, that's one thing. I always take as much guidance and recommendations or anything. Like what worked for them might not work for me, but find that happy medium and stuff too. I mean, they've had it for 20 years and they built one hell of a business. So it's just my time to not screw it up, but to keep to keep building that. So but you could they had 20 years into it, and they wanted to go watch their kids play golf. My nephew plays at South Dakota State, so they just wanted more of a little freedom because it is, you're married to the place, you guys know. You're here, especially summertime, you're working 16 to 20 hours. I mean, you're the first one here and the last one to leave, so which is good. You're busy.
You have a restaurant, you have a golf course, you have is an event center.
Yep.
Is it
anything
else?
All of the above. So we have the 19th hole. We have golf simulators going for the winter time. We have a heated driving range. We have an outdoor driving range as well. Practice green, practice.
Okay,
chipping
I don't
green,
golf, but what is a heated driving range?
So basically, it's
awesome.
Yeah, it is. So you're hitting golf balls like right now. You could go in t-shirt and pants or even shorts if you really want to. But there's radiant heat up above you, and you're hitting golf balls off a mat out in the driving range. So
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, from inside a garage. To the
They got stalls. We got 10 stalls and stuff.
Huh.
You put $5 in, gives you range balls, and you can work down your swing
Cool.
during the winter time. And then I did bring the golf simulators in about.
So this is a lot like the Top Golf thing.
It is not to that like real
Yeah.
high end level, but it is. It doesn't have the screens or anything like that. But if you want to watch your flight of the ball and where it's going and stuff, the winter range is really good. It's really busy all the time, especially when it's starting to show a little light of spring coming. So people are like, "Oh, better start working on my swing." So.
Okay, so that range versus a golf simulator.
It's almost two different players because it's I call the big the simulators are like it's a big arcade game. I mean they've gotten so realistic where you can see how fast you're swinging, your ball speed, your smash factor. I mean if you want to work on your game, that's the place to do it because you're seeing all this data which will help you like okay
But how do you putt on a golf simulator?
So they have sensors. It's actually all above for you. You know, right now they have lasers. I mean, you name it.
Okay.
Actually, I think Kyle's looking at one right now too.
Yeah.
So, but it's called a launch monitor. So it has this. It's a gaming computer, and it brings all that data, which it'll tell you like if the putt's going left or right, how fast it's going to hit. The technology is just it's
awesome.
changed. Like if you see that
Okay.
TGL on
Yeah.
TV now, I mean it's even the pros are starting to do it more and more too. So.
Yeah, because the only golf simulator game I ever played, it was like a ball track thing, and you push a button. Like, that's not golf.
Yeah, no,
You're not learning
yeah,
nothing. I'm
yeah.
like, Kyle, I don't get it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But-
you're using real clubs, real balls, real everything, and
It
just
is. Yep,
tells
you're
you.
hitting into an impact screen
Okay.
and stuff. So it is.
Everybody else in the world probably knows all this already,
Yeah.
but I don't know nothing.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. I mean, we have a league going on right now, and you know, we have ages from 16 all the way to 80 years old. So I mean, it's cool. So
Yeah.
you know, especially when I start seeing the older generation, because they're maybe the first ones to not trust technology. You know, as the younger generation. So it makes me happy. I mean, we have women playing in it and everything, and they do it. Something to do during the long winters in Wisconsin, and you know. And then we do have a banquet facility, so we have a lot of special events. We're open on Fridays for fish fry for open dining and stuff. But we do a lot of golf outings and stuff too. So it sort of keeps everybody busy, because Mother Nature is one thing that you can't, I shouldn't say rely on, but can throw you curveballs. So you got to have something to accommodate that. So.
Yeah, with all the growth, and I mean, even since I've been coming here, it's almost a whole new place, Adam, and
Thank
it's
you.
pretty awesome. How do you sit down, or what do you use to sit down and like make your goals for the year? Like, do you start that in 2024 to looking for 25, or do you have a lot of like 4 or 5, 6 year goals with the scale of something like this, or what does that look like?
I do. I have I call it the black book, but I do it with all my ideas and improvements. What I want to do. Obviously, some of those things get put on hold because I had to put a new roof on last year. You know, I mean, just stuff like that. Bought new golf carts the year prior. So I mean, there's stuff, but it's needs that you need to take care of. Otherwise, you know, I mean, that's the necessities to keep putting improvements into place, because it does. I mean, you know, we have other competition here too, and you gotta keep improving, for people to enjoy the place, but also create new memberships, more people golfing and stuff like that. So it's another outlook for people to have fun and to enjoy the game of golf. So, but yeah, from a aspect of goals and everything, I jot them all down as much as I can. I mean, I'll be 42 in March, but if I don't write it down, sometimes I forget about it. So as you guys know, the busy life. So.
Do you have a process, like a formal process, like each year you review with your wife, or do you have partners in this,
Nope,
or is it
it's
just you guys?
me? Yep. So,
Okay. So
I don't have a wife or anything. I do have a lot of family members that work here.
Okay.
And that's
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie's my golden retriever, so I talk to him a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, from advice or for what people are looking for, I do. I talk to a lot of the members. I talk to a lot of the family members. I bounce ideas off them, like what's this, but talk to a lot of golf reps that I have, what they're seeing in like the bigger cities, because it takes a little while to get to Marinette, but by that time, I'm ready and prepared for it and stuff too. So, but I'll take as much advice as I can, and just to keep on growing and keep putting the river.
And one of the things I saw, you and I had a 5-10 minute conversation one day on the putting green about lab, and then
Oh yeah.
I just saw you're a lab rep now, so like just different equipment, because I told Adam I had to drive all the way to Appleton to even try one of these, and then next thing you know, Adam's now a rep or a dealer for a lab. So
and like what Kyle just said, it's not anybody can just go get. I mean, you have to have a golf course, or you have to have like a brick and mortar to have like these accounts. So it's a privilege. So it's just not like Troy down the road can go get a Callaway or TaylorMade or a lab account. You have to have a golf course or a golf shop. So it is, and I try to bring the best pricing to the community as possible. We get a lot of people from our other golf courses. We do a lot of online sales, which definitely helps out during the winter, because obviously the golf course isn't open. But it keeps us busy, and then it keeps our revenue coming in too. So
Is this kind of the vision that you're shooting for, or do you have a target or a place that you're hoping to get to?
Yeah, I mean, it's the vision's coming clearer and clearer. There's a lot more stuff I have left to do. Well, you brought up the Top Golf thing, so my next big project is going to be with that range, making it into a Top Tracer, which is like Top Golf, where they have the screens and you can sort of see it, but it would be opening up at night. You know, and just looking for different aspects on, you know, trying to keep the place open for business as much as possible, as long as there's a need for it. Because even adding the lights out in the outdoor range, that gets people out there. Like if you're working, we have a lot of shift work, you know, where it's Wapaka, Kimberly Clark, where they get done at 11 p.m. and all the places are cold or closed, and you know, so giving them an avenue or something to go and play and hit golf balls at that time would be, I think, a good thing for this community. So yeah,
it's pretty interesting to me too, like the range stuff and those improvements. Once the initial investment's in, there's not a lot of overhead for, especially man hours, to monitor it, to, you know, you clean it, you make sure stuff's working, but it's kind of like your
runs itself.
Yeah, your vending machine for golf balls.
Yep.
$5 at a time and you get a bucket of balls. That's such a great idea for a business.
It's the hardest working employee out there. Never calls in sick unless it breaks down, which does happen once in a while, but it is. But the convenience about it too, you know, I mean, trying to keep a low cost where, you know, you don't have a lot of overhead from that aspect, and for $5 you can hit, you know, 50, 60 range balls and have a good hour of fun, or 45 minutes of fun. So just trying to, you know, get people to enjoy the game of golf, and it doesn't have to be expensive. You know, that's, I think, what people always thought, like, oh, you play golf, it's an expensive sport. It is, if you keep buying new equipment and you know, from that aspect, but you can get into, you know, golf at a reasonable rate. And like I said, it's trying to keep it enjoyable for everybody to enjoy with family and friends, and in that aspect. So
yeah, and I'm going to jump to this one because I know Joe's going to do it otherwise. For residual income, how do you, in your opinion, how do you do that with a golf course? So, you know, the idea of, like we kind of talked about with the range, but you do it, you put all your money into it, and then it keeps paying you back over and over and over again, and you don't have any work. Like, is there a way to get residual income from a golf course?
Yes and no. I mean, there's always going to be, you know, adding more, you know, keep re-spending it back into the business and stuff. You know, like we just expanded the range tee and stuff, which costs money, so we expanded that because it gets so much use. We're expanding the tees over in the golf course now because, let's face it, we're not getting any younger, so we have, you know, the blues, the whites, the reds, and then the golds. Well, a lot of people are playing more of the golds, which is 70 or older, and it's chewing up a lot of the tees, so we're expanding those. But there's always something. Irrigation, I mean, we had to replace the irrigation pump last year and stuff. So the membership money that comes in, that's what that money helps out with the improvements, because if you didn't have that, it's hard to do improvements where it's like a day-to-day. So I mean, like a new irrigation pump, you know, is $17,000. So I mean, a lot of stuff that people don't think about, it does happen. So
well, so those are costs, those are fixed costs, but residual is really a time-based thing.
Okay.
So think about it maybe like this: what would you have to change right now if you were to spend 5 hours a week here doing work to make sure this thing ran, and then all the rest of your time would be available to do whatever you want? But what would you have to change in order to just spend 5 hours a week doing this and making sure it's running right?
It's a good question, because it's a lot of hands-on, so it is tough where, like, okay, you know, you bring in this, you know, whatever the case may be. But I mean, like an online tee sheet would be good, because that's bringing people in, and it's not creating a lot of time making new tee sheets and doing all that. So I have been looking at that. Like I said, it is tough with Marinette's a little not the most tech savvy community when it comes to that, but everyone's sort of getting used to it, so I will be adapting that by next year. But like, even having the apps and stuff where I can send golf deals and stuff to that, so people keep on repurchasing golf equipment, where I'm not advertising for it and everything like that, where it's bringing in income and I'm not doing a lot of extra work to bring that in. But a lot of it is hands-on here. I mean, it is, you're here to keep the ball rolling and stuff, and I have some really great staff, but it is, I mean, people want to see that owner here though. So it's one of those things where a friendly face, and if you can help them out with something. But from a residual aspect, you know, I wish I had a clear-cut answer for you on, hey, here's the investment and it just keeps bringing in, except for, you know, the winter range where you fill that ball dispenser and it keeps coming in, you know. So, but, you know, still, if you pay somebody to load that dispenser, you know, I have to buy more range balls and stuff like that. So, you know, we're an investment where it's going to pay dividends. You know, you have to keep reinvesting it to, you know, have good golf balls and maintain the machine and stuff like that. So
I
don't know if I answered that question.
That's
for
a
you, but
super hard question for most businesses.
I would love it if you guys have opportunity. You know, it's tough. I mean, even the online sales. You know, I have a guy that does an amazing job for me. He does all my listings and then inventory and stuff like that. And but at that time, you still have to keep, you know, taking pictures and putting on if it's eBay or a different avenue and stuff. So, but we you know, it does bring in extra income, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, I mean, businesses like this, the brick and mortar are harder, but in general, it's just, you know, if you could find the right manager, they can do good, but there's always going to be a level of something, right?
Yeah, yep.
And so truly residual in a business is really hard to maintain the business the way you would want it.
Correct.
But I think it's something for us to think about, because like you said, 42 is going to be 52 is going to be 62, and then is it just a sell and be done, or is it a turn it into something that reflects you, but even though you don't have to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a hard question to think about.
It is, especially in the golf business, you know, because it's always evolving and stuff that too. I mean, who knows, after simulators, it's probably gonna be something else. I mean, you know, it is. It's
Well, and even the automation versus in person, you know, there's something to be said where you go and check in, they check you off on the sheet, you buy, you know, a couple kitty cocktails for the kids, and away you go, and
Yep.
and that drives some business too. Where if it's all online check-in, it's just a weird thing. Like, you got a lot to think about.
It is,
when
you know,
got that stuff going on.
even when I was at Coke, you know, you know, when they started that pay at the pump, which is awesome, you know, convenience and stuff. But we're not selling any soda when they're paying at the pump. So you want to get them in the door. They might be buying a new sweatshirt, T-shirt, you know, some golf balls, you know. So you want to get them in that door, you know, and sort of, you know, if they buy a golf club, whatever the case may be, or even food or kitty cocktails, like you said. So, but you know, just talking to the person, you know, and that's one thing we pride ourselves on is, you know, family oriented golf course, and you know, we want to treat you like family, you know, like you're part of the Wood River family. So it is. If it wasn't for the members and the great customers and the repeat customers that we have, it won't be as successful as it is today. So
Yeah, well, and you do a great job, Adam, of keeping the atmosphere you described, and improving it while keeping costs reasonable. I think that's a huge thing that you hit on that I don't think gets enough recognition in like golf, especially because it's nothing to go pay $100 for greens fees.
I know.
And then you're renting a cart, you're renting all this stuff, and pretty soon you got $300, $400, $500 into a day for your family to go golfing, and that's not realistic for a lot of people. So being able to keep it affordable yet profitable is got to be a heck of a challenge while improving the stuff.
Can you talk about, you mentioned competitors a couple times?
Sure.
So talk to me about who are you competing against here?
There's I would say in the Marinette Menominee area, you have North Shore, which is a public golf course on M35 in Menominee, Michigan, and then you also have Riverside Country Club, which is semi-private, sort of like what we are, where you can buy a membership but also play to the public. But they're really going towards that private golf course. They are more expensive than we are, but I mean, they just have new owners in the last year and a half here, so you know, they're making improvements and stuff too. So it does, it takes away business and vice versa. So, but I mean, I always want to. There's enough room for all of us here, and I'd love, you know, yes, they're my competition, but if they needed help or needed golf carts, well, I mean, I would rent them golf or whatever. I mean, hey, just use them, whatever the case may be. So I want us all to be successful.
Well, we're kind of in a weird area here because within 30-ish minutes there's those two.
Yeah, you got Vernon Hill or Kramer's,
and then there's two up in Crivets.
Yep.
And then there's, you know, you get down to Patriot and all that too. That isn't that far. So there's, you know, 8, 10, 12 golf courses in a pretty small area.
Okay, so then sum up real quick. I know there's a lot of things that you could probably talk about. Just sum up real quick. How do you set yourself apart from everybody else around you?
Sure. The biggest thing is the improvements. You know, with the golf simulators, adding a really good golf course, the greens, expanding the tees, even if it's all the landscape and everything, just setting us up apart from everybody else. Where, okay, where's my money going? I think a lot of members are like, you know, okay, you know, if an owner buys a house in Florida, like they like to see that improvements, like the new roof. Yeah, might not see it now with all the snow, but I mean, it's like, okay, you take care, you take a pride in your, you know, the ownership of it. But like Kyle said, you know, just adding new improvements to the place keeps people here and just sort of see like what we're doing. But the biggest thing, you know, yes, obviously we profitable because of money, but how I get paid, like just the smiles, like your kids when they come in and they're smiling, that's payment to me. Like, okay, you know, that they love golf, they love being here and stuff, and that's what really truly makes me happy. You know, but the customer service is number one.
Yeah,
like I said, if it wasn't for members and the guests and stuff, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. So.
Well, and I know it's a weird feeling, but from the consumer side of it, even the members here and the people playing, they're typically polite, they're nice, and I don't know if it's from you attract it to here or if it's just the attitude in the course, but I think the staff as well does an amazing job of just keeping everybody calm. Like nobody's yelling at each other at the golf course.
Is that a general problem at golf courses? Yeah. Like people get mad and they fight a lot
and
play, they're hit each other with clubs
or if they cut in front, you know what I mean,
wrestle out on the green or something.
Kids, like a lot of places will not allow like the kids to be out there playing. There's going to be comments and they're just like spiteful. Here everybody's just there'll be a whole group of 10-year-olds running around with golf carts, and they're polite and they're nice and they keep up pace of play. They're not driving through bunkers or anything crazy, but even the kids are very respectful and nice out here.
I think it'd be fun to tour one of those not so fun ones where they're fighting all over. I think that would be enjoyable. We should do a video on that. Look, they're fighting. Oh, they tackle that guy, beat that guy with that. Oh man. Yeah, that'd be fun.
There are videos out there.
I'm sure there are.
Fist fights.
Okay, you've talked about this a couple times, but what is your thought process around? Okay, I had to do the roof versus expanding your golf simulators.
Sure.
Right. So, talk about how you make that decision.
I look at my calendar of events and stuff, sort of see what money's coming in. Like I said, obviously Mother Nature plays a toll into green fees and say golf events that we're having, scrambles or whatever. But you budget for yourself. I have a great accountant. He yells at me daily, like, hey, don't spend money on this, or you got this and stuff. But he keeps me on the straight and narrow. But I talk to him every day. And we budget for stuff like, okay, a portion of memberships coming in, we'll put this towards improvements. Because we upgraded the simulators this year and we did the roof. So, it was a great year. I mean, we opened up February 22nd. Like I said, a lot of it depends on Mother Nature. We live in Wisconsin, but I had to cancel 2 big golf outings because of water. We got dumped on. We got 5 inches of rain, and one of them was my big memorial scramble. So, but it is, you have to try to budget. I don't overspend.
Can you talk about what your budget looks like? Like physically, the actual software you use, or
I use QuickBooks.
Okay.
QuickBooks is awesome, and like I said. Yeah, I have I should say don't call the helpline or anything or customer service, but it keeps me for a budget standpoint on there, and then I also have a spreadsheet as well where I keep everything from year to year.
So is your budget on the spreadsheet or is your budget in QuickBooks?
Spreadsheet.
Okay, so your QuickBooks is your actual. So when you're running and you compare it to your spreadsheet and you're like, oh, I spent more there, I spent less there. But that's how your budget is a spreadsheet?
It is, and it keeps me on track. So.
Excel, or do you use...
I just use Excel, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then I get my, my account gives me a monthly and a quarterly and, all that. So, and like I said, I talk to them, and it's not like I started a business. This business was established and stuff, so,
right.
But I mean, it's still nerve-wracking. I mean, you don't know, how the economy's doing, like if one of the factories shut down. I mean, it does. But we're in a really good spot here. They're adding housing. It's growing, which is really good. I mean, it helps, I think, everybody. So.
See, I think you just touched on something that we haven't really talked about with anybody we've been interviewing with. How do you mentally, as a business owner or entrepreneur, get over that doubt? Because everybody has it.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's seasonal, like, oh man, my numbers are way down in June or July or January. What do I do? How do I get them back up? Like, how do you personally get over that doubt that creeps in?
I don't know if you ever get over it, to be honest with you. I mean, this is my 3rd year going into it, and I get stressed out starting in December, I would say. December, January, and February are, the lean months, let's just say. I mean, thank God I have a great special event side with, a lot of events that are happening and stuff, which a lot of are repeat customers, so we have that to count on. But I mean, you really don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where you think you're prepared, but my hot water heater went out on me last week. So I mean, it's just, which isn't like that expensive, but it's stuff, where you don't have money coming in. So it's one of those things where it is a stressful time, and you want to make sure you can keep on, payroll and everything like that. But it is budgeting your time and money is what's going to sort of lead you up for that. But we're doing Valentine's Day, and you got to think of other stuff that keeps bringing money in. At different events. If it's stuff you create and stuff. So thank God we have a lot of events booked every Saturday, so that keeps money coming in at a pretty good rate. So, along with memberships, we do have a early bird where you get last year's rate if you pay by February 14th, so Valentine's Day actually. So
yeah, I just know that self-doubt or that situational doubt can.
Oh yeah.
Well, it keeps most people from even trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
most people are much happier to work in the factory and be like, well, they're going to pay me to do this. I hate it, but you know what? They're going to pay me to do it, so I don't have to worry about that and go home and watch TV and play with the kid and do something on the weekend.
Yeah, and you guys can all relate. I mean, it's stressful, but it's rewarding working for yourself, especially when you see it doing very well, and where you can add these improvements too, so where you have that opportunity to do so. But yeah, there's a lot of gray hairs and it feels like age, so, but it's worth it. It is. I don't regret one bit.
All right, talk about work-life balance.
Yeah.
You don't have a wife and kids though, so
nope, I do not.
Only the dog.
I do, yeah.
The dog's only balance.
I don't know if that's a good question for me. I don't balance my personal life too well. I'm pretty much here. I have been taking some time from a couple hours during the afternoon to spend the time with the dog or run errands, do stuff like that. But maybe in the next 5 years or something, maybe I'll take a vacation. But I'm here a lot. But I think people come here to see you, and I mean.
But you're also doing something that so. Sometimes people tell me oh, you should go take a vacation. You should go do well, but what would I do on vacation?
Yeah,
I don't want to do any of that stuff. I'd want to go do this thing that I'm doing right now.
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
Or I'd want to I kind of, I enjoy what I'm doing, and that then every day is almost a vacation.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. So,
I hate the question. Aren't you busy enough? No, I wouldn't be doing that if I wasn't busy enough.
I remember seeing that where it says create a life where every day is a vacation. Where you wake up every day and you enjoy going to.
When I'm on a vacation,
you're thinking about work.
Probably. I'm twitching because I don't have nothing to do, and I just don't
I'm the same way.
No, can I buy that hotel? No, if I was running this place, I would do this different. That's where I'm going. It's not relax on the beach. No, thank you.
I think the important
10 minutes and I'm done.
That everybody misses with work, or most people miss with work-life balance is, if I want to go hunting today, can I? The answer is yes. Yep. I'm doing great.
Yep. Yeah, you can, but that work's going to be there for you later that night or the next day. Prime example, and I know you know this, but I used to play golf 3-4 times a week. You want to know how many times I've played golf since I bought the place?
As many as me?
0. Yeah. So yeah, if you played 0, yeah. So and I've tried, but then or if you got a phone call.
But see, that's what you need to do. You need to get the manager, let them start building that residual for you, and then you go do the tours with your customers on the course, and then you get the golf and
just jump into random.
Just hey.
But even when I'm out there, I'm like, oh, we should have. Have that there, it is. It's somebody even said that. I think if you actually wanted to play, you would have to go golf somewhere else. I'm like, you're probably right. But then I'd be picking them why didn't they do that? Like you just said.
Then you could submit a comment list to them and say, hey, here's all the things you need to improve.
It is, but I enjoy it. Like I said, I knew what I was giving up and what I was prepared for and stuff too. So I don't regret it, or I don't despise it or anything like that, or hold a grudge against it, because it's the life that I wanted to build. So.
Yeah, well, that's all. That's fantastic, Adam, and I think you're doing awesome with the business and the growth, and you're one of the most positive people I know. You're just always.
What's got me on a good day? No,
side.
You have to be. There's too much negative stuff out there. So yeah, if you're not positive, or it's one of those things where you're probably not going to get a positive result if you're not thinking positive, or at least optimistic about it. Because don't get me wrong, I get challenges every day, but how do you turn this into a win? So.
No, that mindset that's awesome. And I think we're gonna have to wrap it up because I know you got
I got tailor-made today. Yeah.
So if you wanted to take a minute, let everybody know how they can find you. How do they sign up for memberships, or where do they find out about the events? What's the best place to look for all that?
Sure. So we have littlerivercc.com where you can go to the website, or Facebook or Instagram. We're on there as well. So we have everything on social media where you can find the membership, events, parties of events, weddings, if you want to book a class reunion, whatever the case.
Can we just come to weddings?
If you're invited, yes. Like wedding crashers.
Just crash them and just anytime?
Sure, just say, bring a gift.
I'll
at
just
least,
say
so.
you said it.
Yeah, there you go. Say it's Kyle. At least. So bring a good gift. I'm sure they'll be okay with it. So. But yeah, we try to make it easy, accessible. We're here 7 days a week, unless of course Mother Nature and shuts everything down for a while. But otherwise, you can call the pro shop or the special event side. So
What's the phone number?
715-735-7234. I appreciate your guys' time too. This was fun. So.
Yeah, thanks for coming and talking about everything. We appreciate it, Adam.
Yeah, this is cool. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the links for our guests in the comments section on YouTube and Facebook. Drop a like, follow, comment, share with somebody. If you have questions, make sure to ask. We're always here to help. And remember, friends don't let friends suck.